We'll start us off, Coach.
Hello, everyone. Excited to finish up our class today, finish up the future Aggies that are coming in to add to our team that we got coming back, which I truly love. But again, we've talked about the first 23 in which we signed. We're excited about those guys. And, of course, a lot of them, 8 of those guys are already in school doing well. We finished up with 2 other players today, and I think are great players, guys that really fit into our program that I think are going to be outstanding football players and fill some needs in which we have. First is linebacker Chris Russell, Dyersburg, Tennessee. We loved, and we got on a little later in the thing just because we saw the film late. But, man, we're really excited about his athletic ability, his size, his instincts to play, his physicality, and everything that goes with it. And then Anaya Smith, which is a all-around player from down in Sugar Land, who is as I say, an ankle breaker, which can play in the slot, can play outside, but also be a great return guy. Guys you can get the ball to in his hands very quickly and in a lot of different ways. We're very excited about him. So those 2 guys will be added to our class. But, we're finished. Our coaches, I want to say, did an outstanding job. And, again, as I've said before, with the 23 in which we signed, with these 2 guys in which we signed, and also, getting us in position for our 2020 and 2021 classes coming up. So we're excited about where we're going, what we're doing, and glad that today is over so we can get back and focus some recruiting in the weekends and during the time and really focus on our players that are here now and get ready for the spring practices coming up and the things that are ahead of us. But very excited about the 2 players in which we signed. Questions?
To the right, Gabe, and then down front, Brent.
Jimbo, 5 linebackers signed in 5 different states, I believe. What you had to go all over the country to get the guys you felt you
we
really
did. I mean, we tried to get guys that were here in Texas also, but we had to go out and get the guys in which we want and we think fit our needs and how we want to play. And that's kind of the nature of recruiting. I think we had 8 different states total in our signing class, and like I say, we want to get all the Texas guys we can, but we have to be able to brand yourself nationally and be able to go out and find those guys, and we did, and we're very excited about the guys in which we got.
Down front, Brent.
I wanted to ask you specifically about 5 linebackers, which was the most position, losing Tyrell and Latara, and how important it was to fill out that position and get numbers.
It really is, and numbers, but also, I'm not a guy, you'll see me, if I don't think they're guys that we can win with, win championships with, I won't take them. I don't take guys just to take guys. I don't think that's the right thing to do. It's about 5 guys that we think can win championships and play at a high level. And, again, there was an area of need, and we also got the guys we wanted. So that's a great combination.
Second row, Olin.
Yeah, Jimbo, you said you got in late on Chris Russell. How did y'all find out about him? And then what was the first reaction when you actually saw some of the stuff on him?
Sometimes you find a guy late, you got to be very skeptical at times because, why didn't I see this film? But sometimes where guys are, the geographic location, and, but in today's world, you can find film, and you go out there and you start digging, and you hear this, you hear that, you hear a room, and you start looking at the film, and you found a guy, you know what I'm saying? And so it was outside of our normal area, so sometimes that happens. And then we were able to do it and research it and really evaluate it. We said, wait a minute, this guy here is a big time player who, we'd have been all over if we'd known as soon as the first day we ever saw him. And so we were able to get on him, get into that situation, and luckily build a relationship. Bradley Dale did a great job of building that relationship, and then Mike went in and did a great job, and we were able to finish that and close it out. He's got a great coach, great family, and they were very receptive and open and listening, and had a great visit when he came down to A&M, and they fell in love with it.
Second row, Suzanne.
Hey, Jimbo, so 8 guys are already here, and including the guys for this summer. How many do you think can contribute this fall?
Hopefully all of them.
And I mean, other than just like the four games that they can play without redshirt.
No, I'm hoping all of them. I don't ever try to put a limitation on that. And then, that guys, like I tell them, I don't sign you to sit on the bench. I sign you to come in here. And the last time I looked in the rule book, there wasn't an age limit on playing. And if you come in ready and you can help us and we can do the things you got to do, you can get out there and get on the field. And I think kids today and the exposure they've had to football, to traveling, to being away from home, to ball itself, and the amount of information you can get them now because of technology, the playbooks and video and things once you sign them. I mean, I think that's all based on how quick they can adjust. But we plan on hopefully all of them can play, and we'll see when they get here. But I don't ever try to say who's going to do it or who's not going to do it. I mean, I quit giving that up. When I kept rubbing that crystal ball, and I shake it, looks like that snow. Remember the one's got snow in it, looks like Christmas? That's the way it gets sometimes as far as that goes, because the ones I say, that guy's going to come in and do it, I've been burned too many times. You say, well, that guy, we'll have to redshirt him, and all of a sudden he's a freshman All-American. So, I mean, you don't ever know.
Right side, Gabe.
This Anaya Smith kid's kind of a walking touchdown. I think about every 5 times he touched the football at that high level in Houston, he scored. Do you love him offensively? Could you see him get a
Oh,
look
no
over?
doubt. That's where we see him at. I mean, I saw him score, and he threw one, caught one, ran one, and returned one time, or intercepted one. I mean, it was like, it might have been, I can't remember what I was, scored touchdowns 4 different ways, on defense, on offense, but doing so many things. And when the ball's in his hand, he's a very dynamic guy. But he's also, it's because he's not 6'2", doesn't mean he's little. He's shorter, but he's very, very thick and strong. You know what I mean? Does a great job sticking his foot in the ground, changing direction, accelerating, has tremendous ball skills. And excellent competitor, plays much bigger and taller than he is, has great vertical jump.
Down front, Brent, and then to the left, Cease.
11 on offense, 11 on defense, it's one specialist, one athlete. Is this about as well-rounded a class as you could?
It is. When you go through it across the board in all positions, we touched on a little bit of everything. And the classes don't always fall out that way. But this one did, and that was that's how we had it targeted, and it went great. And like I say, that's doesn't always happen that way. And, I felt like not just got players at every position. I think we got guys that can make a difference at every position. That's what I'm excited about.
To the far left, Cease.
Do you expect to keep Jim Turner, Coach?
No. Jim will not be with us next year. Now I'll let the other media work through it, but in a great way. Jim did a tremendous job for us. He was outstanding. Great relationship and handled everything tremendously with us, and wish him nothing but the best. And I think he did a heck of a job. Consider him a great friend, and wish him good luck.
We'll go Suzanne.
Done. Is there going to be a timetable to get an offensive line coach in before spring training, I guess?
It'll happen very, 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 very quickly.
We'll go Suzanne, then Olin.
2 questions. First, housekeeping. When does spring start?
First day of practice is March 20th.
March 20th.
And the
okay.
game's on April 13th.
And now that you've had one full year in the state of Texas, how did you like recruiting in the state of Texas, and who were your new teams that you had to battle against?
Texas to me was very much like the state of Florida in that it has such large volume of players and numbers of players. Everybody in America recruits here. Because all the other states that don't have that large volume, they have to go somewhere where there's a surplus of players and have a chance to get guys out. So Florida, Texas, California are usually your 3 states. Georgia becomes like that a lot too from volume. But those states, but Texas and Florida especially, get bombarded. I mean, you're right here with the SEC, the Big 12, and the Pac-12 comes in, the ACC. I mean, everybody comes into Texas because it's as good a high school football as there is anywhere in America from a player and coaching standpoint and in program standpoint. So you're going to get everybody here, and it was very it's hard, and again everybody said, well, it ought to be easy, you got players. Well, everybody's recruiting them and everybody wants them, and they're such good players, and it's very demanding and very tough, but when you're getting great players, it's always going to be that way. I don't care where you're at.
Olin, and then Gabe.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was my understanding that y'all had 3 spots to fill. So do you envision or foresee adding someone else? Or is this it?
Can possibly. Could possibly in the future, and couldn't. Like I say, we're planning on signing 26, and could have, but just we're making sure it's the right thing at the right time.
Right side, Gabe.
When it comes to finding an offensive line coach, how attractive is this position when you look at all the sophomores that were playing last year, Kenyon Green coming in? I mean, it's got to be attractive for a
the 3 guys we signed were all outstanding players, and we got a great nucleus coming back. And I think the success we had playing in the SEC, being here at A&M, this job is extremely lucrative to a lot of guys. A lot of people, had interest in it, and so that does really help. There's no doubt about it.
Front row left, Zach.
Jimbo, Coach Webb at Rockwall High had said that your message to him, or at least at Rockwall High School, was that you were planning on recruiting directly through high school coaches, and that the best way that recruits can be seen is through camp. With 7-on-7 and so much going on outside of the high school, I guess directly in school, what's the thinking behind that and dealing with coaches and being able to recruit?
Well, you have to deal with. I mean, that's the number one force. That's the guys who deal with those guys every day. That's your lifeline, and we're always going to do that. We're always going to deal with the coaches, the parents, and like I say, if someone else is involved in recruiting, you have to communicate with those people. But we're going to go through the parents. We're going to go through coaches and do things the right way. As far as that's the people who say, like, if there's people come in here and a pro guy wanted to come in and talk about my guys or something like that, they come to the coaches and they handle it professionally. That's the way you're always going to do it, and that's the message we're always going to send. See, the 7-on-7 things, we can't see them anyway. So everybody says you go see 7 on. We can't watch one 7-on-7. We can't go to one opening. We can't go to one Under Armour camp. We can't go to one Nike camp. We can't go to one 7-on-7. We're not going to do that. And getting them to our camp is the only way I can personally see them, and our coaches can personally see them. I think all those camps are great, and they're very lucrative for those kids. But at the same time, you know, when you're with the schools you're interested in, you need to get on that campus and work with those coaches to get it, not just get evaluated, but to help your game grow. We're not just there evaluating. We're trying to teach you and do those kind of things. And I think that's the way things have to be done. But I mean, in the world today, some kids don't have all the right situations at home and different things, and other people do get involved in recruiting. We have to communicate with those guys when we have to, but we're never going to take a high school coach out of it, and they're always going to know everything that's going on, and the guys' parents, no doubt.
Right side, Gabe.
I see on the list, Damani Richardson's listed as a corner. Do you like him as a guy who could play basically all over? I mean, safety, be a rover for you?
Damani's going to be, and Damani will be a safety. He can play corner in 2 seconds. He did in our camp out here and can do it, but he'll maybe be used at safety. Without a doubt. I didn't see. I don't know where it said
Yeah,
it was
I
in
think
there.
it's on this other one, Coach. My fault. Olin,
Yeah, AC. Blame it on AC.
That's it. Olin and then Brent.
Oh, there's no doubt, but he's going to be a safety.
Yeah, Jim, I'm going to take it back to the linebackers again. Did you look at the depth chart and say, hey, we got, for lack of a better word, a crisis of depth at linebacker? Or did you just see, 4 or 5 guys?
Well,
that you
first of
really
all,
like?
you have to identify need, and we have to have. And then we went out and identified guys. All right, what are guys, again, can we win the SEC with them? Can we win the national championship with them? Do they have a chance to be a top-round draft pick and all-conference player? And all those guys, in our opinion, met that criteria to have an opportunity to do that. And they're guys that we wanted, and we evaluated well.
Did you know well beforehand about Tyrell's plans for the future? And
No, not till the end of the season. No, we didn't. We didn't know right till the end, till after the game. Not for sure.
Down front, Brent.
So when you're at Florida State, you're playing Florida in a non-conference game. Is it a little strange here that maybe one of your most fiercest competitors in recruiting 100 miles away, but y'all don't play each other? Does that make things a little bit different,
Not
or
really.
does it really matter?
Just like Miami and Florida. Miami and Florida don't play. I mean, they're right there in the same thing in the same state. No, it doesn't. I mean, like I say, our interest is east with LSU, Mississippi State, Ole Miss. They're Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, Florida. Arkansas. That's where we go, and those are our rivalries too. We're recruiting against all them too.
Go to the far left, Coach, best dressed media member, Sam Kahn.
Hey, Jimbo. I had a question for you on when it comes to speed, guys. How do you verify? Because there's a lot of 40 times and stuff like that out there. How do you guys verify speed on guys?
Well, you can never truly verify it unless you got a clock in your hand and you get them in camp. That's why I say the ability to get a guy in camp. When you have people in camp, you make far, far, far less mistakes on guys in recruiting. And you can really judge a guy's movement and fluidity. But, you base off who he's playing with, the people you know, what you know, people you identify with, and, numbers that are out there. So there's not anything in particular in which we can do. It's more of our experience of just evaluating the film, or unless you have him in camp, or a great guy that has watched them play or been around him, or the coaches himself.
For guys that run track, do you guys use track times at all?
Oh, no doubt. When you get any kind of verified time that's at a track meet or anything like that, even the information you get back from the camp, say from from one of those camps or they go to, whatever, anytime you get those, it gives you some judge. And then you say, was it dead accurate? No, but at least you can compare it to the other guys that are running there, how they were timed. That's the inaccurate part of this thing. That's the guessing part of this whole thing. That's why I say, come to our camp.
Time for a couple more, Gabe.
Last year Kiki was a guy you could move him inside, you could play him at basically all 4 spots along the defensive front, depending on situation. Was it important to you? How important is it in today's football on the defensive line to find guys who can play inside and outside? It looks like Leal. You got a couple guys. Hunter can play like that.
It's like that. It's like that in the secondary. It's like that at linebackers. Maybe some of those guys could be designated pass rush guys, or the great blitz guys. Because if you look at the game today, it's such a situational game. You got third down package, you got second long package, you got first down, you got red zone, you got rolling. I mean, and it's just like, I say like this, basketball doesn't have positions anymore. Everybody seems to be 6'3" to 6'10" and runs the court and play inside, outside, shoot, run, jump. I mean, whatever you got to do. And I think football, when you get to the spread game of how you got to match guys up and how you can create pass rush advantages, how you can create coverage advantages, or on offense, how you can create matchups to get your guy on their guy. It's really evolving into that, and guys have to play in space, and they have to be very multiple in their learning capabilities and their physical capabilities.
Down front, Travis.
Sorry to come a little out of left field, but looking back on first season here, how important was that extra travel day, and did that could you point to anything that pointed towards success from that extra travel?
First of all, I think it does academically. I think it whole does academically. We take everybody with you, and they get 3 hours of straight, all their academic stuff done Friday morning. I think the second most important thing is the most important night before a game is not your night before rest, it's 2 days before the game. And you get sequestered, you get together, you get rest, they get up, they don't feel rushed, they don't feel hurried, they can get academics. Because usually when you do travel on Friday, those mornings you have to get out early to get to your meetings and do all those things before you travel. So it takes all that out of the equation. And then your guys can get settled and make good adjustments and feel comfortable and their mindset and their rest when you're going over your walkthroughs, your game plans, your final touches to the game plan. So I think it does. And it's always, since we've been able to do that, I think it's really helped our preparation and how we play.
Brent, you'll wrap us up down front.
When you get a player like Cam Brown, can you tell those bloodlines and how neat it will be to have maybe a former Super Bowl MVP?
You know you
around?
do, and I tell you where you see him a lot of times. One is ability, because obviously there's a genetic there that the guy played in the NFL, his dad had played in the NFL, those kind of things. But the other thing, it's like when you're around those coaches' sons, you know what I'm saying, or those ex-players' kids who understand a lot of the nuances of the game or little technicalities of their position, because they've been explained to it at a younger age of not just running a route, but knowing how to run a specific route and how to change it, how to adapt it, how to change speed, how to, in that position, for instance, how to do different things. And I think and that doesn't mean you're going to be a great player, and it doesn't mean, but there's a lot of this game that the world gets caught up, as I say, a combine world. It's not. And all you got to do is go look at New England. I mean, like I say, how many first-round drafts? There's a few, but there's a lot of guys. I mean, Julian Edelman, I use that for a great example. His 7th-round pick was a quarterback. But the nuances and the intelligence of the game and the little things that really make a difference. And a lot of times in those kids, you can find a lot of that really allow them to play very, very successful. Not just use their physical skills, but their mental skills to even make them better players.
Ray, Coach